Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Noblest End. I may sound a bit off because, uh, work 50 hours a week, guys. It totally sucks. But anything to get passed for school. What else? So yeah, I'm totally forgetting what I just read of this. I read the description, but I don't really know anything about it. But I forgot the description already. This is a Maywolf 2026 Game Jam game submission. Uh, if you'd like to read this, you can read on itch. It'll be linked down in the description down below. But I think I don't really know much at all actually, so I'm gonna start at the end. You sit alone at the campfire. You're not entirely sure why you have a campfire. It's a spring night, and while the sun is gently setting, it's still pretty warm out. You suppose it's because having a campfire just felt like the right thing to do. It matched the same notion in your mind. The idea of the soldiers around the campfire. That's just what soldiers do. Well, soldier singular. It's just you, and the disgusting excuse for food that the canteen continues to give you. You thought they might include some of the meat or bread on the night before the first battle of the campaign. You would have been happy even if just pottage, but alas, scraps and rotted produce again. Instead, your paltry excuse for a meal sits next to you, untouched, while you weave together the flowers you found while trying to scavenge for something more edible earlier. Forget-me-notes. Edible, but not very filling. Mistletoe. This variant isn't particularly poisonous, but also isn't much help for the battlefield medicine. Cornflower. A gentle anti-inflammatory. Maybe if you get desperate enough to try eating what you've been served, it'll come in handy. And finally, starflower. No practical use, but it is quite pretty and goes along well with others you've picked. You sigh, and place the flower crown on your head. Some little piece of yourself returns to you. Memories of when you were younger and you thought of your teacher's lessons as healing magic. Now, okay, which one's this? Now that's something I didn't expect to find on the campaign trail. The voice that comes from behind you is gruff, and just a hint unsteady, like its owner doesn't use it often. A golden wolf cautiously walks into your field of view. He seems to be waiting for permission to sit with you. You nod, more surprised than cautious. It is only as he sets it down you notice the sword, almost as tall as he. His movements are graceful, and despite his large appearance, he makes no sound as he moves. After carefully setting his sword down, he balances his bowl of soup on his lap. Cornflower for love, forget-me-nots for promise, mistletoe for fertility, and starflower to look pretty. Wow, what a poem. That's quite the affectionate spread you've got there, waiting on a lovely lady back at home. Or maybe a charming man. It's hard to tell past his scarred face, but you think this handsome wolf might have just winked at you. No, nothing like that. I just wanted to make something that reminded me a bit of home. Though I only know these flowers for their admittedly limited medicinal properties. Oh, so you're a field medic? Well, not quite. I am a medic, but instead of serving on the field, I follow the main detachment and search for the battlefield for the wounded. If I am lucky, I hope to reach them before the rear pikemen come through and finish the straggles and loot their corpses. The wolf stares at you, soup spoon half raised to his maw. Wow. And here I thought they treated me bad for being a merc in the vanguard. I didn't realize it was so dire for the medics. I suspect it's less because of my role, and more so for the distaste of ravens. Of course, should have known. They've had plenty to say about wolves too. I'm sorry you had to experience that. I can take the whispers and looks. I just wish they'd serve me real food. It's not too hard to scavenge for now, but it'll only get worse after spring passes. Ahem. You had noticed the eagle slowly inching its way towards the two of you, but the sudden intrusion still makes you jump. If the mercenary was at all phased, he did not outwardly show it. It has come to our attention that some of the troops may be feeling a bit underappreciated. So, the officers decided that it would be best to mingle with the troops to improve morale, and reach a kind of camaraderie between them. And they have designated me, Warrant Officer Aya, to be the one to make contact with the rank file of the enlisted personnel. The wolf doesn't even try to hide his scoff. That's a lot of fancy words to say that it got kicked down to you. Aya falters, almost starting to shift back on one foot before recovering and continuing headlong. It is a task of utmost importance regardless, and I intend to take it seriously. I was hoping you would both enlighten me to your names, so I may address you as friends instead of by rank. Well, my name's Ulfor, but my friends call me Ulv. I see. It is nice to meet you, Ulf. We're not friends. It is nice to meet you, Ulfor. The twitch in his face is almost imperceptible. Imperceptible, okay. As he turns to you, behind him, Ulfor seems to be enjoying toying with the young officer. I'm Wrath, a medic. You look around, past the officer and the mercenary, at otherwise empty surroundings. If you are here to improve troop morale, not that I'm pleased to have you, but why are you all the way here with just us? Eyal looks even more in pain than from Ulfor's standoffish prodding. His face twists a bit more, one foot drags slightly as it shifts forward, like he needs to stand his ground. Well, I simply thought I would be the first to inquire about the outliers such as the two of you. Wolves and ravens aren't exactly common sights. Something about that seems to upset the wolf behind him. You see the storm brewing on the mercenary's face as he dumps the rest of his soup out to the side, standing up. Oh, of course, should have known. Not that would have been dense enough to buy friendship from an officer. You're just here to make sure the less desirable members of the know their place, right? Aya spins to face him, feathers raised and arms out in a placating gesture. Worried that all the tales of ravens as the harbingers of doom have some kernel of truth to them. He gestures at you, afraid they're here to see your army off to a bitter end. The wolf steps forward towards the smaller officer, snarling through his razor teeth. Maybe you should have been more worried about the lone wolf. Who knows what I'm capable of? A mercenary, with no loyalty but a coin. Maybe you should have heard the stories about the wolf who grew so big they devoured the sun. Maybe that's what you're worried about here. Someone who will outshine the higher-ups, steal their glory. He runs his tongue along the edges of his teeth before snapping them shut in Aya's face. The eagle stumbles backwards, slightly, a look of genuine fear on his face. Or maybe you should fuck off and just worry about yourself instead of bullshit like whether or not the troops want to grovel and polish their officers off. He turns away and sits back down, eyes closed, leaving the stunned Aya stuttering. His voice is steely, and he doesn't make eye contact with either of you as he speaks. I see. It is my mistake. Apologies. I did not mean to ruin your meal. Excuse me. I am afraid I'm very embarrassed. He quickly walks away before you can say anything, and you turn to Ulfor, somewhat incredulous. That was hardly unnecessary, was it? He scoffs and rolls his eyes. Please. Clearly his seniors were hazing him. He's lucky he ran into someone as nice as I am, instead of soldiers who would actually give him trouble. Besides, an officer that young, with a nothing position like that? He's clearly some rich noble's brat, here to accumulate prestige from being on the front lines. I'd be shocked if he even sees a dead body, much less actual combat. And those stories about you mentioned. And those stories you mentioned. Oh, I have no idea if he gives any stock in those things. And frankly, I don't care. Enough people know them that I've become more than familiar with all sorts of tales of wolves ruining lives and homes and towns. And I'm sure you've heard all the sorts of unkind words about ravens. That's just our role as God's unfavorite creatures. He sighs out and stands again, this time grabbing his sword and slinging it over his back. You'll have to excuse me too. I'm not used to talking this much, and I need to rest for the battle tomorrow. He starts, before turning back to you, his smile much more gentle and real this time. It was good to meet you, Ruff. Stay safe out there. You let the wolf sulk off without saying anything after him. You're still thinking of his words. You've heard all sorts of cruel tales of ravens. It's true. But only after joining this war campaign. You stare at the scraps of flesh and bones swirling in the warm water of your soup bowl as you make your way to your usual spot at the back of the camps. To your surprise, you see the silhouette of the wolf from before. He rises to greet you, a slight hitch before he waves. Ulfor, it's good to see you again. Well, you as well, Ruff. He sits back down, and you notice a strangeness in the way he holds himself. I'm glad to see you made it through the battle. From what I saw, it was quite the success. They didn't have much work for me. Once again, you're very aware of how empty of other people this area has. Though I thought you would be joining the party with your platoon. Ulfor grimaces at you, starting to laugh, a shake in it, with a shake in that wasn't there at your last conversation. It did. Minimal casualties, or so from officer told me. Your instincts as a healer, even worn out and starving, still kick in. You recognize someone in physical pain. Of course, most of all losses were suffered by the Vanguard, so not much left for us to party. I assume we'll split and send to the bowl store other units. He raises his bowl. Cheers then, to the other bastards that were left on the field. Can't say I was fond of you, but I wish you were still here with me. Ulfor, I'm sorry, I can't see you hurt. He eyes you warily, as though he suspects you mean more than just his physical injuries. You haven't known him for very long, but maybe you do. He's the first one to show you any warmth, a friendly face amongst the flowers. Don't worry about it. There's not much reason to care for an expendable soldier like us. His claws start to dig into the ground until you take his paw, as though your midnight feathers might keep him safe from further harm. That you're still here and breathing is the reason enough for me. Let me take care of you. Excuse me? This time, Aya's approach is much more subdued. He shuffles forward carefully. Despite his injuries, Ulfor slips easily away from you, as though he was never by your side in the first place. I brought you this. The younger raptor addresses you. He holds out a deep dish of meat and vegetables, in a still steaming broth. The smell makes your mouth water. Isn't this food for the officers? Well, from what I understood, our cooks have hardly been giving you digestible sustenance. Consider this back pay, for the slights you've had to endure so far. I will be talking with them about how they are expected to treat your medical personnel. All of our medical personnel. You gratefully take the food and carefully begin to eat, savoring the warmth. It's barely seasoned meat and slightly soggy greens, but after weeks of picking out barely edible morsels from molding and rotting leftovers, it feels like the best thing you've ever eaten. When I first met my fellow officers, they actually prepared a special dish for me. Ulfur rolls his eyes behind Aya. I was thrilled. I thought that this war was going to be endless misery and dead bodies and losing life and limb. So, knowing that I had these more experienced officers looking out for me, I thought that I might be okay after all. So of course, I was almost too embarrassed to be mortified when they brought out a plate full of nothing but raw liver, horrus, and weeping blood, connective tissues still attached. Apparently, there is a popular tale about a man who defied the gods and was chained to a rock where eagles eternally ate his insides. His liver, specifically. I'm sure it was a gesture made in good faith to show they recognized me after putting me through a rite of passage. But the smell of the meat hasn't left me. He seems to remember something. Oh, my apologies again. I did not mean to make this about me. I just meant that I know how it feels to have your meals jeopardized by the vitriol of others. I would spare you any more if that was possible. You try to put all the warmth you can into a smile you give him, genuinely touched that he went out of his way to help you. Yeah, thank you. I have to admit, I certainly feel my own hope returning after finally getting some real food. I'm sorry you had to go through that. You deserve better. Do your fellow officers treat you better now? More so, they struggle to acknowledge I exist, which I suppose it's preferable to being tormented. But this isn't why I volunteered. You volunteered? The incredulousness in Ulfur's voice is plain. As a golden eagle, I'm proud to be seen as a symbol for our troops, as an icon for great civilizations. You both turn towards Ulfur. Sorry, excuse me. Just can't believe anyone actually falls for that shit. Aya fluffs up and then deflates. Were you expecting indignation? Instead, you find a tired look, gazing off into the distance. Great civilizations? You mean the one where they murdered their emperor and fell apart after? Or the one where the despot... what the fuck is that? Sorry. The despot waged a futile race war only to lead his country to ruin? He shouts, raising his arms. So, where are these civilizations now? You certainly don't mean to imply they're still here with us. He lowers his tone to a mocking and vicious snarl. You're a symbol of fascists and fools. Aya sniffles. The smirk remains on Ulfur's face. Ulfur, I'm really sorry. I don't know what I did to make you upset you so much. What am I doing wrong? I've done my best to be nothing but cordial and reach out to you, and in return all you have done is shown me cruelty. I'll not bother you again if that's truly what you wish, but all these stereotypes and unfair judgments you've spoken of, all you have done is shown that you truly are a wolf to your fellow men. Oh, fucking please, you're right. I'm a hunter again amongst the rest of you. I have to be. You know why I joined the campaign? Money. The horrors of war are many, but so are the horrors of hunger. Of being on the street during the winter. Of the hateful stares of others when you have nothing to your name. If it takes weaponizing myself or leaning into that hate to survive, then so be it. Ideals and prestige are for the rich brats like you. Blood and misery are for the rest of us. Hold whatever standard you want for the rest of us, but don't act like killing for an ideal or for coin makes all the difference. We all end up in a pool of someone else's blood anyway. You can almost hear Ulfur's wounds reopening as his anger grows. The only thing I know how to do is kill people, so I might as well get paid for it. The wolf huffs out, exhausted from his yelling, and you suspect the events of the battle still as well. You make note to check him over yourself before the night is over. For now, though, your concern lies with the young officer. You look to Aya. The glossy look in his eyes replaced by something harder to recognize. He turns away from the two of you and begins to storm off before turning on his talons and approaching Ulfor again. Fucking. He takes a deep breath. Rich, do I look like I have money to you? You think I'd be out in the middle of nowhere, laughing at the jokes of senile idiots as they push people's lives around if I was rich? You're having trouble following the list of emotions he seems to be cycling through. Alright, you win. You've got me. I don't care about the ideals. I don't even know half of the shit you bring up, but I am genuinely sorry for people who have treated you terribly. The rage slips away from Aya, as though it's too heavy for him to hold. I don't want to kill anyone. Why am I really out here? I am no warbird. I'm a carpenter. And not even that. It was the final year of my apprenticeship, and the head of the guild told me he wanted to adopt me. Only to find out it's all because families must send someone to war effort. The guild master didn't want to send his own son, so he found an orphan he could send instead. It'd be embarrassment if his son, even one he doesn't know the name of, died in the first battle. So instead I'm the useless position, set apart from the other officers who view me as such unclean deadweight. And apart from the normal people who view me as... He sighs, and some of his decorum returns. As you so elegantly put it, Ulfor. You can tell by his face that Ulfor's self-satisfied triumph has turned sour in his mouth. Fuck, shit, kid, I'm sorry. I don't understand, and I don't blame you. No, I just saw you as an easy target. You deserve better than that. You find your opportunity to speak finally. And you have more value than just someone else's sacrifice. You deserve more than that as well. You place your hand on his shoulder. There are no winners here, but at least Ulfor and I had some choice in coming here. I would get up and ask for you to sit with us, but you'll have to spare me some more grace, I think. I've overdone it a little for the evening. But if you're willing to sit down and start over with me, I'd love for you to join us for the evening. I'd like to learn more about you. Maybe raise troop morale after all. A few moments ago, you wanted to kill me. And now you're getting straight to polishing me off, I see. You are aghast at this cheeky tone. You expect Ulfor to be finding a second wind to separate Aya's head from his body. But he's just as stunned as you. This time, the laugh he lets out is genuine, an infectious rumble that resonates in your own chest as well. Maybe not rich, but I see I got the brat part right. The flirtatious tone from your first day returns. I admire your bravery. I'm always fond of the sight of my fangs. I just about did on my first day. And you still came back. Well, of course. I had to make sure you got your food after all. I'm sure the officer I told it from won't even notice it's gone. Took it from? What? Oh my god. Cheeky fucking bird. I'm sure the officer I stole it from won't even notice it's gone. You did not mention that part, Aya. He returns to the fireside with you and Ulfor. I promise it's nothing you'll have to worry about. I mean what I said about making sure the staff cooking will treat you better. I'm not as good as an actor as Ulfor, but I think I can at least use the officer role to convince them that someone who actually matters cares about what they serve you. The second time today, you refuse to let that comment slide, joking or not. Aya, please don't say that. You matter. I appreciate the kindness you've shown me. It means a lot. Oh, well, of course. My pleasure. I'm gonna have to try a little harder, I guess. The warrior winks at you, as the officer at your side leans a little bit into your side. You enjoy the rest of the evening with the warmth of a different kind than the fire keeping you company. You finish checking Ulfur down and turn away to give him privacy as he redresses. You may be the first soldier to accrue less injuries as war goes on. Admittedly, not many of them allow me to tend to their wounds, so I can't say. Ulfur shovels out of the tent alongside you. Maybe I was just feeling rusty at the beginning. A few battles in, and now I'm all warmed up. I suppose I should be thankful. Just try to keep that streak going, okay? You won't find me bleeding out in the snow. Besides, I wouldn't leave you to deal with Aya on your own. You relieve that the two of them, despite their rough start, are getting along well. They play off each other's energy, occasionally acting more like drinking buddies than fellow soldiers. As you make your way to your usual camping position, away from the rest of the troops, you're a bit surprised the Golden Eagle isn't already there waiting for you. It's been a long summer, and now that fall has set in, many of the nicer rations have run out. You suspect even the officers have begun to feel the shortage, as Aya has managed to sneak you and Ulfur less and less food from their personnel stash. Though you also suspect that he's still a bit sore that you confiscated the spirits he snatched for use as disinfectant. At the first few battles, Command gave up on their attempt to appeal to the common soldier, and now camps separate from the main force of body, but Aya still endeavors to join the two of you almost nightly. But now he's nowhere to be seen. Wow, I wonder if they actually found something for him to do. Really. I hope not. He's been spoiling me with actual food. Now I don't know if I can go back to plain pottage. If they go back to serving me rotten food, you'll have to share with me though, right? The wolf looks at you. Ulfur. Wolf. Wolfur's ears perk up. Oh, see? Look, here he comes now. Ignoring Ulfur's less than subtle deflection, you turn to where he's looking. And sure enough, Aya is rushing towards the two of you. Aya, you're late. I need you to bail me out. The sentence dies on Ulfur's lips as you both see the frantic look on the eagle's face. He pauses a moment to catch his breath, and you wonder if perhaps you really needed to be quite so far from the rest of the army. Are you okay? No, we're thoroughly fucked. He shoves a torn open letter in Ulfur's face. The wolf takes it from him, holding it at a distance as he slowly reads it. You trace the outlines of the stems weaved together in your flower crown as you hold it in your hand, a nervous tick from your childhood you never managed to fully shake. You're surprised that the flowers have held up for so long. Your teacher's preservation techniques has left the petals still vibrant and fragrant as the day you picked them. Shit, already? I guess I should have expected this. Ulfur passes you the message, and you quickly scan through it. The sister army to your campaign was wiped out, and now your next battle is expected tomorrow. All soldiers will be on the front lines, including officers to command their forces directly. You look up at Aya, who is trying not to shake in fear. His beak nervously plucks at the feathers on his hand. He notices you, looking at him in concern, and quickly drops his hand, embarrassed. Worry not for me, Raf. I'll be fine. I feel it an appropriate time to remind you that the golden eagles are actually descended from a god. You and Ulfur share a quick look, but decide from the shake in Aya's voice to not challenge him. Long ago, a sickly and poor god was chosen to sacrifice to ignite the sun. Aya frequently pauses, like he's struggling to remember the words to the story. And when the time came, he emerged from the shining light, a beautiful eagle, golden like the sun, because of a sacrifice. The words trail out of his mouth as he realizes a story about sacrifice is not exactly uplifting self-prep talk he was looking for. You intervene. Actually, my teacher used to tell me a similar story about ravens. You take Aya's hand and sit down with him, Ulfur close but careful at his other side. I remember she found me crying because of one of the other village children told me my feathers looked like an oil slick. And she put me on her lap and told me the story how long, long ago there was an endless winter. It was so dark and cold, and the people were all hungry. They knew someone would have to go to the Creator and fetch fire to bring back warmth. Stag tried to go, and he sank in the snow. Bear tried to go, he got too tired. You feel Aya lean against you and try not to show your surprise. Even fish tried to go, but the rivers had all frozen over. Eventually, they asked Raven, the most clever and beautiful of all birds, with feathers and like a rainbow and a voice like a song. And Raven flew all the way to the sun to borrow the power flame clutched firmly in his beak. He began the long journey back, but the fire burned hot and the cinders fell as the raven flew, staining his beak as black as ash. And the coals scorched his throat, turning his beautiful voice into a tired croak. And though the people eventually forgot Raven's sacrifice, you can still see the rainbow when the sun shines on their feathers just right. You sit together. A cool wind blows across the field, and you're more grateful for the warmth of your companions than ever. Well, Aya's voice is small but less shaky. That's a lot more reassuring than Ulvor's story about eating the sun. The wolf sits up. You cannot still be holding that against me. It made an impression. You're glad he's still feeling well enough to antagonize Ulfor. For fuck's sake. Here, stand up, I'll make it up to you. Ulfor pulls Aya to his feet and turns to him to face the empty field. Now then, Birdie, it's time you learned something you should have a long time ago. The wolf puts his hand on Aya's shoulder, slowly running his hand down the front of the bird, then his waist. Slowly, as he reaches, Ulfor upholsters the eagle's gun. Oh god, they gave you an actual weapon. I was worried you'd end up with some useless antique piece shit. You fire it before. Aya takes a moment to answer. What? Oh yes, but only during basic training. Better than nothing. Unfortunately, ammo is too expensive and too loud to practice with, so we'll be running the motions. You watch as Ulvor carefully guides Aya through the motions, the eagle managing to at least pull himself back together from the wolf's teasing. It's a pistol, so you got a decent range advantage, while still being able to take care of yourself up close. You find yourself tracing the petals again, the flower's crown removed from your brow, as though you could weave a spell with it. It'll be tempting, especially when you're in the middle of an action, but don't jerk the trigger, or you'll pull your shot off target. There's no such thing as preventative care for combat, at least nothing that stands up to blade or gun or fangs or claws. Thank you, Ulf. Maybe I'll be okay after all. I promise you, make it through. After all, you've had me looking out for you in the battlefield. Oh, dropping the lone wolf act, are we now? I've always looked out for my pack on the battlefield. If Raph was out there, I'd be taking care of them too. You and Aya share a brief look, on the same page about the lupine warrior. Oof. Then who's taking care of you? The wolf's serious expression turns into a smirk of amusement. Please, you think the scars are for show? I look after myself. It's not like you're gonna be out there attacking the enemy with your scalpel. His words sting a little. No, I suppose not. I'm sorry. You too. I wish I could be more help. That I could keep you from harm in the first place. Please, who else would put us back together if not you? I certainly don't trust whatever halfwits with bone saws they've got out there to take care of the rest of the army. Ulfur's smirk turned into a full grin, the kind of you remember seeing on the kids sneaking extra candy from your teacher's treat bowl when they thought she wasn't looking. And who else would sing for us than our beautiful songbird? Aya just looks confused, but you can already feel the blush rising to your cheeks. You just hope your dark feathers cover it effectively. You heard that almost every single night. At first, I wasn't sure where it was coming from, but after your story, I put it together. Wait. Raph sings? How come I haven't heard them? I do not sing. It's just humming. You smooth your feathers back down, a little too quick on the potter. Fuck me, guys. I hate saying words. A little too quick on the protest. And I thought I was doing it quiet enough that it wouldn't disturb anyone. Oh, please, don't be so dramatic. You're not bothering anyone. If anything, it sounds like a lullaby. Are there words? You don't want to lie to your companions, but you do feel like somehow you've been caught up into a trap. There are, but I haven't sung them out loud in a long time. I would be happy to attend your practices. I used to play a little piano, so I can appreciate it better than Oov's lead ear. Lead ear? You can't protect them on the battlefield, but maybe you can cast a spell of your own. Oh, I don't want to sing. If you're both... fuck, I don't want to sing. If you both make it through the battle tomorrow unscathed, I guess that would leave me time to sing for you both. No hesitation from either of them. Done. Well, if that's easy, then I don't think it'll be a problem at all. You sigh. If that's what it takes to keep them safe. I guess you're the one singing for me after all. I'm just not used to being in this role. And here I thought a big bad wolf like yourself would be used to being treated like this. Oh, wait. Okay, yeah, you might need to skip this. Usually it's the other guy in this position. I wondered why you were squirming so much for someone I had imagined as so experienced. Okay, guys, I don't know where this is leading to, but from the music alone, I can have a guess. So, I may see you guys later? We'll see how far this goes. You're lucky we're far enough that way that no one can hear the noises that you're making. Just didn't realize it was so big. Wait, what? Okay, this might be just... This might just be, what is it called? Medical treatments. Yeah. You might not believe how often I used to hear that. So you're telling me that you're out of practice? Hardly. It's something you'd never forget. There, it's out now. Better now? Remind me to never try new things. Okay, we're safe. You placed a small spur on the tray to the side. Uvor had gotten out of the battle not much worse for wear, but apparently at the end had been clipped by a projectile of some kind. A flesh wound in his upper arm, mostly harmless as long as it was properly treated, but the kind that hurts far worse than the severity would suggest. You were more used to dislodging the occasional splinter of similar fashion from unlucky lodgers. Loggers? I'm gonna say lodgers. But unfortunately, whatever hit him didn't seem to have any barbs or hazardous material attached. Uvur lay still again on the makeshift bed while you go over the rest of his wounds. His fur is surprisingly soft to the touch, and you marvel at how little the grime of battle seems to stick to him. Still, you carefully wash and tend his wounds. He drapes an arm across his face, speaking to the ceiling as he talks to you. It's strange, being the one taken care of. You carefully part the fur on his stomach, slightly thinner as you dab at the cut. You can tell the lower quality meals are starting to get to him, as more of his abs are visible. Oh, usually the least banged up by my packmates. So I was the one making sure everyone got stitched back together. You don't talk about your packmates often. Force of habit, mostly. I was considered bad luck to talk about life away from combat while on campaign. I see. I won't push it then, for now. Just let yourself be the one taken care of. Alright then. It's not like I was good at it anyway. Obviously not as smooth as the stitches, if the scars didn't give it away. You pause and look at his face, still covered. You stitch yourself up. Takes a steady hand. Oh, ooh. You sure know how to make me worry about you, even when we're not on the battlefield. You reach the only other wound you worried about, a cut on his thigh, deep enough to bleed through his leggings, but now that you've looked at it, relatively superficial. You press his legs apart, slightly, moving closer to examine the cut. Running your hands along his inner thigh, you don't feel anything else out of the ordinary. All right, thank you for your patience, Uvor. Let me touch this up real quick and you should be good to go. You lean back and reach for a small jar out of your bag. I've got an ointment for that. Your forearm brushes against something warm, firm, and slightly damp. Sorry, Ruff. It's been a while since I've been touched with such tenderness by another. He looks at you now, a little embarrassed, but with hunger. Not just superficial flirting, but with genuine desire. The obvious response, the ingrained medical practitioner, who knows these things happen, who registers the body as a series of parts moving together, comes to the surface. Dismiss this, and let the vulnerability flee out of the room, and you both pretend it didn't happen. That response dies before it reaches the surface, when Uvor grabs your hand. Not to keep you there, but to ask you to stay. It's gentle, delicate. It's been a long time since you've been touched like that as well. If I have some ointment that can help with this too. Okay, maybe we have to skip this. Maybe. Your first love gave you advice years ago. Something along the lines of use your hips to spell your name. Or one of those long words. Okay. Gosh, that's a lot. But one of those long words from your medical or textbooks. That I can't even focus. Advice that hadn't led you astray so far. And yet every time this wolf rolls his hips into you, you struggle even to remember your own name. It feels good. You do your best to match his pace all the same. One of your hands rests upon his chest, feeling how firm his pecs are, the way his muscles flex, the beating of his heart. The other holds you onto the flower crown steadily in pace. Admittedly, now that you take the time to fully appreciate him, Uvor is incredibly handsome. The golden fur, the jagged edges, the lopsided smile as he looks up at you. You hold his taste on your tongue, feeling his lips. What? Okay, yes, it's censored. Oh, okay, yeah, we're setting something up. Okay, fuck this. You hold his taste on your tongue, the feeling of his lips moving slowly down your chest, your stomach taking time to explore you. The ease of strength as he lifted you, letting you slowly lower onto him. Now he looks at you with hunger, his claws raking through the downy feathers along your ribs, as though trying to map out your shapes. The pads of his paws are soft, but the grip on your hips is firm. It feels safe and confident, and a little bit possessive. And fuck if it doesn't make you eager. Each thrust brings you a little bit closer to Uvor, and a little farther away from your own troubles. One of his hands slides up, grabbing your forearm as you put your weight on him. You lean down closer, eager to taste him again. Raph, Is Uvor okay? We got separated on the battlefield, and I heard he was injured, so I... Aya bursts into the tent, almost ripping the flap off, stopping at the standstill in the entrance. All movement in the tent stops. You and Uber both stare at the golden eagle, who looks between the two of you, mouth slightly open. The fabric of the tent slightly flutters in the wind. Uber finally breaks the silence, which you're grateful for because you're still gasping to find how words work again. Could you close the flap, please? Much to your surprise, Ayaz steps through all the way, closing the entrance behind him. I think you might be on the wrong side, Birdie. Ref, you may be in charge of the health of soldiers. He strips with surprising speed and intent, striding forward. This cocky bird is also an Adonis. What the fuck? A sentiment seemingly shared by Uvor as you both watch him intently. Ayas stands next to you and reaches down, his hands running along your shoulder, up your neck, and gently pulling you into a kiss. The kiss itself starts a little timid, but quickly becomes fervent and eager. You wonder how long he's been waiting to do that. You wonder when the first time you thought about what it'd be like was. Okay. But if you recall, I'm the one in charge of the troop morale. He confidently steps 1 foot to the other side of Uber's head, lowers to his knees, and plants himself on the wolf's snout. Your eyes widen as he puts both arms on your shoulders for stability, and his twitches, lines up mixing with your arms on the wolf's chest. Finally, words return to you again, that professional veneer, working overtime to return some sense to you, even as Uber's throbs inside you. The patient needs to breathe. It's less incredulous and more breathy in tone. The wolf offers a thumb up, and Aya crosses his arms in a smug victory. Or at least he tries, as apparently he also finds the wolf's skill with his tongue impressive, as he quickly returns to leaning on you for support. This doesn't stop him from firmly gripping you, stroking you in perfect tune as the wolf resumes thrusting from below. Speech, if I'm allowed to do that. Speech has once again left you, as all you can do is moan and bounce in the embrace of your lovers. A small part of you in the back of your head offers a gentle sigh of relief that both your companions are too preoccupied to make a smart comment about your singing for them. Oh, okay, well, you're gonna sing for them now. Ufer's muscles tense under you, and you can tell from the pulsing of that he's close. Ayaz pushed over the edge, his face less than grateful as his spasms, his coating the wolf's stomach, making all the way to yours. Despite his look of stupor, it doesn't stop him from continuing the work, the mix of your pre and his into a climax of your own. You sit back, letting Uver hilt you, as Wolf's heels scrape against the ground, his hips thrusting enough to lift you both off the ground, struggling to get as deep into you as he can. All you can do is whimper, softly as the two of them coax every last drop out of you. Aya kisses you again, and the salty taste tells you that he couldn't resist sampling your shared results. Uvor finally seems to run empty. At least a few thrusts, rocking you gently through the waves of afterglow, already starting. He's so warm inside you. You get the trickling sensation that there will be a lot to clean up. He taps Aya's side, and the eagle finally seems to remember he was in fact depriving him of oxygen. You both shift yourselves, off the respective ends of the wolf, still breathing heavily in a tangle of bodies. Exhaustion of a sleepless night and a fervent day catch up to you, and you find yourself drifting off. When you wake up, the first thing that strikes you is how, even in the chill, late autumn night air, you still feel so warm, You keep your eyes locked, letting your other senses speak to you. Feathers pressed against your back, and the strong chest to your front, with an arm draped across the two of you. They're both still here. You can feel and smell that they've been cleaned up. The breeze gently slips in under the edges of your tent, a cool contrast to the bodies of your companions, lovers. You decide that, for now, it doesn't really matter. It's just a relief to have something that feels so sure right now. Here, between these two, people you care about. People care about you. You're real and you exist, and you are safe in their arms. You breathe in Ufu's scent. Something he smells more like flowers than you. Somehow he smells more like flowers than you, and still a bit of ointment you used on him earlier. When you let out a sigh, he shifts against you. His voice is softer than the wind that washes over the three of you. Hey, rough? Waking up? Sorry for falling asleep. I'm a little embarrassed. I'm sure I didn't work half as hard as the two of you. Nonsense, it's not a competition. Besides, wrangling Uvor is its own challenge, and you apparently had a head start on me. Aya tucks his head over your shoulder, resting gently against your neck. There's none of his usual flair to his words, and you wonder if you're finally seeing him at his most comfortable with the two of you. Don't worry. I explained to him that it wasn't exactly planned. All because you were dodging my other question. Because it's not really worth answering. You open your eyes. Despite his tone, Uwe looks almost more embarrassed than annoyed. What was the question? He thinks I was putting myself at risk to actually watch out for him out there on the battlefield. Who are you? He sighs, a bit resigned. Yes, clearly not as well as I should have been, or he wouldn't have noticed. When Aya speaks, there's a small quiver to his voice. Thank you. I don't know how to repay you. Oh, please, like I said, you're my pack. Well, just know that goes both ways. I doubt I'll get much chance, but I'll take care of you both as well. Ha, will you now? I hold you to it. I'll let you watch my ass next time. Wait, do you mean on the field or? The wolf's chuckle rumbles against you. I'll let you decide, buddy. You're a good boy. Wolfie. Wolfie? You can't help but laugh, distracting the two of them, though it's a bit bitter. I'm sorry. I can offer you two more than chance what you came back to. No more of this, okay? You're a guiding light. You're the moon in the sky. You're an anchor. You blush at how easily he says this. Everyone needs something to come back home to. Home, huh? You haven't really thought about home in a long time. Or as close as we get out here. Then, you both better keep returning to me. Don't make me come looking for you. We'll find you, Val, no matter what. Well, we all will make it through this war together. I promise. We'll all go home alive. You know it's just words, but when the two of them speak together, you can't help but believe it. You know you have nothing to do with it, but you hope this spell between the three of you keeps them safe. This one time tonight, none of you return to your own beds, and instead drift off in each other's embrace. Winter's chill bites at you as you make your way towards your own camp. The war has not gone particularly well for anyone, as far as you can tell. Combined with the harsh winter, supplies are low. The army is all but starving. The troops are battered. You spend each day running between the soldiers. The injured and sick have long since stopped caring about who is treating them. The army has decayed, but from what you've heard, so have the enemy forces. You're not sure anyone You're not sure anyone knows what they're fighting for at this point. And now you're here, almost a year later at the end of March, and you squint. You think you can make it out. You think you can make out the lights of the enemy camp far in the distance. Huh. You've been sat out here for a week. From what you can tell, it's an unspoken truce between the two armed forces, waiting for a final battle and leaving the other until the last moment. And now, tomorrow, it ends, one way or another, on this rocky hellscape, in the biting cold. Where does this leave you? You trace the flowers along the crown. The sealant on them has worn off, and they're starting to wilt and decay. You wait for the other two to join you. Hopefully not a bad omen. You thought perhaps after that night in the medical tent, you gained some certainty for the future. They've never pressed you when you've said that you've come here to help people. You thought you had found an answer for some question you were too afraid to ask out loud. Aya and Uvor remain warm towards you, as much as they can in this cold and harsh place, with the gruesome purpose. But whatever you thought might have bloomed forth from your tryst hasn't gone anywhere. And now, you're worried they'll slip through your fingers. You're not the only one who's noticed something unresolved between the three of you. You spend your evenings together still, but there's a distance between you. You suppose you've all changed by the battlefield, but you notice it the most in Aya. His sense of humor is less present, less quippy. He's exhausted. He's too exhausted to put effort into his personas, too tired to find stories to trade with you and Uvor. Uvor remains almost untouched after the battles, and while you're grateful both he and the eagle remain in good health, as much as they can be on meager remaining rations, it's left you less time to spend with them. Hard to figure out excuses when there's so many others in need of help. You're called from your rumination by their rival. The wolf, his coat not as radiant as it was before, casually walks into your field of view. He offers you a small smile, mostly grimace. The snow crunching under his boots is the only noise he makes. He sets his sword down with care, with the blade deceptively clean, before balancing a soup bowl in his lap. His remains are tired but also graceful. You wonder if he likes to dance, briefly imagining him leading a lucky partner for the night around a campfire after trading tales and kisses. Aya trudges up on your other side. Looking haggard and exhausted, he passes you a bowl of watery something before flopping down on the ground with his own. Uvor manages a smile for him as well, and for a little while longer, you all eat in silence together. After finishing his meal, Aya simply lays on his back, spread out. Careful, Birdie. You better show some signs of life, or the squad after Raph will send you off before you even make it to the final battle. Aya responds by simply letting out a long groan. Yeah, fair. I find that's how I'm feeling too. You sit there for a while longer, until finally you stand up and walk over next to Uvor. He looks up at you as you offer your hand out. He takes it, leaving his word behind as you walk him over to next to Aya. You take your flower crown off, resting it on the chest. As you lay down at the angle from the eagle, Uvor joins the two of you, creating an equal triangle between the three of you. That was a triangle. If you shift your head, you can see either of them, but for now, you stare at the stars instead. But yeah, any more inspiring stories for us? Another groan. You, Ove? That I've not shared yet? I don't remember. The only one I can think of is the beasts of battle. Though, it's a less of a tale and more of an acknowledgement of the beasts like us. Oh? Well, in many stories, the beasts of battle are ravens, eagles, and wolves. The story of holy woman who beheaded a drunken invading general, the hero king who traded mortal blows with a dragon, even the saintess who sought the holy relics used to make her the messiah of her faith. You can hear the grin, the hint of sarcasm in his voice. These beasts of battle would follow after the armies because they knew they would soon be dead to feast on. Yeah, more of a statement of ironic intent to show the war from those lost. Sorry, I shouldn't have brought that up. You lay there, and once again, you find yourself mustering up the courage to say words you've had been waiting for others to speak first. What about a story of the future then? The story of Ulver the wolf? The story of Aya the eagle? Where do they go after this? Breaking taboo, so close to the battle. He scoffs. There are always fools who need people to fight their battles for them, and those fools often have coin. Aya chimes up, as well as sounding similarly resigned. I don't think they'll let me quit, so I guess I'll keep trudging on as an officer, wherever that takes me next. He sighs. His sigh is a little shaky. My father told me after this, the war was over, I could consider myself graduated. I don't think I particularly care to return to the guild. At least the people in this career are all up front about how little they care about each other. Well, damn. Maybe you can hire me again in the future. For now, it's too bad we couldn't pilfer something. I got alcoholic to celebrate our last nights together. Something cracks open inside you. Assuming our favorite sawbones let us indulge that. He waits for your response, and then, with concern in his voice, rough? You're standing up now, staring at the two of them. They both turn and rise. That's it? That's all you have to say? After everything, that's all either of you have to say? You're both going to just keep coming back to war? To bloodshed again and again? Over. You've seen more than both of us. How are you not afraid of dying out there? I'm just following any campaign that leads me closer to where I'm going. And just where is that? You aren't too far off. All soldiers reach the same end. You stare at each other. Aya looks between you. Ulvor searches your eyes for something, but doesn't seem to find it. He sits down, resting his back against his sword. He tips his head back, his breath steaming out into the cold winter night air. His gaze trails back to the fire as he begins to speak again. Since we're already talking about after the war, why don't we talk about it before it? You asked about my pack before. We were all mercenaries by trade, a pack of wolves. But much more than that. We were family, some by birth, some and blood, some not. Maybe I should feel the same about at our trade. But we were good at what we did. We won battles. We changed wars. We picked our jobs. I thought our glory days would last forever. Our leader was a bit smarter than that. He was getting older, and he knew there was only so far he could go in endless fighting. And so, he set us up with a final job. Two brothers, two small baronies, fighting over a mine by a river in the middle of the farmland, left to them by their dead father. We were hired by the younger son to fend off the older brother when his forces retreated and our employer was officially recognized as the owner. We'd gain permanent residence as citizens, along with enough funds to pursue whatever business we desired. Oliver pauses, stoking the dying flames of the campfire. You and Aya sit, patiently listening to the wolf's personal tale. And so we arrived to live with the workers and farmers, already set on building a small town to begin work. Everything was fine for the first couple of days. Our scouts had reported the younger brothers' men were on their way to assist us. I was checking the mine to find a safe place for non-combatants to take shelter when I found the corpses. This is the first time you've heard of Ullr's voice shake with something other than rage. They had piled high, deep in and covered with sawdust to keep the smell from escaping. The real townspeople butchered and replaced by the old Durbound's men. When I ran out of the mine to warn the pack, everything was already on fire. I found out later the younger brother had already known all about the siblings' ploy and had sent his men to cage them in, using us as bait. The town burned down around me. My wolves caught off guard and butchered. I'll never forget the look in my leader's eyes as he watched us fall around him. Ullr's breathes in and out. You can see the tears in his eyes. He didn't even fight when they cut him down. Before I was able to do anything, I caught a javelin through the back. They dragged me into the rest of the bodies and threw me into the river. That was the last time I saw any of them. I didn't even get to bury the bodies. He reaches a hand behind him, tracing along the broad side of the sword. I survived, pulled myself out of the river, and the javelin out of my back, eventually regained my health, and so I set out to do the only thing I could. He grips his sword hard enough you're worried he'll draw blood. When I arrived to take revenge on whoever was left, all I found was a barren wasteland and scattered ashes. Further investigations of the surrounding territories revealed that the older brother had been slain by the younger after that night. His victory was short-lived, though, as the mine collapsed on an end of itself, mixing with the fetid corpses and poisoned land. The people left when they found out what he'd done. Apparently, they left pieces of him all over the land. Deprived of revenge, I ended up doing the only thing I knew how. I joined any company that could take me, throwing myself into battle. He smiles, finally showing his teeth, but there's no joy behind it. Guess I'm just too damn good at my job. Sometimes I think I died back on the battlefield, and that's why no one can kill me now. A cold wind blows through. The bonfire crackling is the only thing you could hear, besides the beating of your heart. Ullr stands, starting to dislodge his sword. It's been a long night, and Wait. Ullr stops. Both he and Aya looks at you. I'd like to tell you my reason for joining, please. Somehow, you feel like this might be your last chance to fully be honest with the both of them. You refuse to let them slip through your grasp as well. Somehow, you feel like this might be your last chance to fully be honest. Oh, okay. I started learning to be a healer as early as I can remember. My teacher, my mother, passed down stories and sciences teaching me how to take care of others. It wasn't always easy, but it was fulfilling. Taking care of my village, it felt like I was supposed to be doing. It was small, but it was mine. It was something I could rely on. Your feathers run along the stems of your flower crown, tracing the history of your time as a student into your confidence as an adult. Aya and Ullr watch you patiently. You breathe in and out. Last winter, the plague hit. It started small, just bad fevers, a few coughs that lingered too long, and then it spread. Through the water, through the food, the air. We take heavy precautions to avoid transmitting anything between patients and to keep ourselves safe. The sickness cut straight through them. It hit my teacher so much harder than me. You don't try to keep the tears out of your voice. She was so bound to her bed within a week. Her vision went shortly after. I did my best to help her, but she was insisting I take care of her, the other patients, the other villagers. So I did. until there began to be more bodies faster than I could bury them. Through my own fever, I could barely get my body to listen to me. My thoughts felt like they were sinking through mud. My friends were left to rot in their houses, while I struggled to just keep those still hanging on alive. Sometimes at night, I dream of holding my mother's hands in hers, her grip so weak. Rothnismal? I'm sorry, guys, I can't read this. I'm sorry, I'm so proud of you. My student, my child, you are far more a doctor than I ever hoped to be. Thank you for taking care of the village. The image of her hand slipping out of yours, her feathers dull, her body withered, plays through your thoughts. She didn't know you were the only two left. I couldn't leave a festering ground to spread the sickness further to any unsuspecting travelers. My bones ached, dehydrated. All I could taste was bile and rot. I set out to perform my final duty as a healer, as a raven. When the people were suffering, I brought the light. I woke up again in the grime and ashes of my village, my fever broken, tired but alive. I came to this war because I wanted to help people, and because I had nothing left. Rev. So I don't understand how now you're both so ready just to keep going with this miserable agony that you're both forcing yourself into. You're right, just like you, I've already lost everything. There's nothing left for us. You're wrong, Ulfor. I don't want to lose you. I thought I had lost who I was, but being with you, too, it reminded me that I was still alive. I still live. I still have something to live for. When this battle is over, I want to leave this behind. The way I left in your arms, I want to feel that again. And I want it to be with you. Agad takes your hand, turning to the wolf, who meets the two of you with a steely gaze. I don't think it's that you've already died, Ulfor. If you're still here, then maybe it's that you've had so much more to live for. The wolf sighs and lets go of his sword, sorry. Okay, that's it? Well, 2-on-1 is hardly fair, is it? But you're right. I don't want to lose the two of you either. You damn birds that alighted with my heart. He reaches out, and the two of you take his hands, letting him pull you into an embrace. After tomorrow, we'll find out who we are, outside of battle. Outside of stories. You left their warmth run through your heart, beating in time with theirs. Together? I think it's very set up. Someone's gonna die. Maybe all of them, but I don't know if it's actually being set up, but dang. I'm gonna say war. The first thing that strikes you every time is the smell. The blood drowns out the flowers, melting the snow. It never gets easier. The sight of the bodies carved up, splattered, left where they lay. The rot hasn't set in yet. The cold keeps the worst of it at bay. The silence starts to gnaw at you. You've always been escorted by a rearguard, pikemen, fighting with them to save whoever you could. Now you're alone. Darn. You run through the massacre, searching for them. If all those stories about ravens standing on the border of life and death, have any truth to them, please let it be now. Please let your beast of battle be okay. Help me. The voice isn't one you recognize, but your training takes over. You rush over to the source of the call. It's not good. You assume the colors must be an enemy soldier, But that doesn't matter. Judging by the day's expression, you're not sure the soldier is aware that his legs have been severed from his knees down. Stay still, I'll take care of you. You drop to one knee and begin rifling through your kit. You don't think he can be saved, but you can at least spare him some pain. The dagger misses you by a feather. His face is a mess of delusion and fury, pulling himself at you by his claws. He swings wildly, and in that back of your mind, you're aware of the strings of tissue holding what's left of his legs tearing. You scrabble backwards, falling on your back. The soldier's babbling has become nonsensical, his knife getting closer and closer. The blood splatters on your beak is minimal, but you don't care for what that. Stumbling towards you, beaten, bloody, and still alive is Aya. Despite your desire to embrace him, you instead start looking at the eagle over. Why are you out here and alone? Is the battle over? Scrapes, bruises. Judging from the swelling of his left arm, someone just about tried to pull it off. As far as the real god was concerned, these generals are dead, and they deserted. I don't think anyone is winning this. He'll have a string of rough mornings ahead of him, but he'll live. You both pause to survey the field of bodies. In the distance, you catch movement, other soldiers crawling away, a few wild animals seeking to beat out their competitors. Do you know if... You choose to confront it head on. Do you know if Ulfur is still alive? He looks away in shame. No, I lost sight of him. He was protecting me again. Now there's no one left. We'll find him. You just hope that it's still alive. It doesn't take you long to find him. The carnage surrounding the wolf belays a ferocity you had suspected he possessed, but hadn't yet to see yourself. It's impossible to count the corpses. Enough of them cleaved to pieces that all that lets you know that they were once soldiers is the guts still pooling out. Still, you suspect there may be a score here at least. You and Aya catch the movement together, and there you find Ulfur, a clear space in the bodies, crawling towards his sword. You fellow bird is stunned, but you move immediately. It's almost hard to recognize Ulfur. He's caked in so much gore. Part of you is relieved to see so much, knowing that if it were all his own, he'd already be dead. Yeah. Help me roll him over. Get rid of his armor. I'll have to attend to him here. Aya silently follows your instructions, helping you wipe off the blood. Ulfur's face is confused, but how quickly he smiles when he sees the two of you breaks your heart. Oh, Bertie. How nice to see you too. He coughs, more speckles of red dyeing his fur. Deep cuts across his chest, waist, and upper right arm. Several broken fingers, perhaps how he lost his sword. He doesn't seem concussed, just slightly delirious from the blood loss. My sword, could you bring it to me? As soon as Rav is done, Ovi. Please, I would just feel better holding my sword. Aya looks at you. A slight nod sending him to retrieve the weapon. You try to disconnect yourself from the situation, letting your years of experience take over. Keep your hands steady. Memories of helping your teacher with surgeries in the past bring something you only now start to understand to mind. Any more stories for us, Ov? Aya sets his sword next to him. I don't. One of the flowers finally falls from your crown, floating gently down onto the wolf. I meant to tell you this back when we first met. His breaths are heavy, uneven, as he struggles to get the words out. But this is my favorite flower, because it has a story with it. I'm sure you've heard it before. Why don't you tell it to us again? Aya holds Ulfur's hand. The wolf still manages a chuckle. Of course, long ago a knight and his lover were walking along the riverside. There is so much blood. His lover saw these beautiful blue flowers by the water. You're doing what you can. The knight wanted to give him his lover. His breaths are getting shallower, but slipped, falled into river. As he tossed them ashore, the last words he called out were, "The bleeding won't stop. Or get me." As you sit at the intersection of the streets, on your way home, you leaf through the book of medicinal plants and roots. Peppermint, excellent for upset stomachs, and one of the few medicines that actually tastes good. Calendula, good for inflammation, minor septic uses, helpful with irritable skin. Chamomile, a personal favorite of your teachers, go to for a long day for quelling anxiety and promoting restful sleep. Working in a town with real medicine has long far alleviated your need for the types of battlefield scavenging you once found yourself doing. Rathnesmill. You look up. Your gold eagle slightly jogging towards you. Hey, I didn't keep you waiting too long, did I? I see I already broken out the reading. I see you already broken out the reading. No, it's just been a few minutes. Busy day. He sighs and rolls his eyes. Apparently there was an incident at the logging camp we source our wood from, so a bunch of shit got delayed. This is doubly annoying, seeing as we're still trying to catch up after the Gavel project burnt down. Oh, yeah, I heard about that. I'm sure you've heard the exact things I did. If you keep rolling your eyes like that, you'll give yourself a headache. Is that all your professional opinion, Doc? Don't sass the person who will end up taking care of you. I love you so much. You took your book away. Standing up and holding his hand, he gives you an affectionate squeeze. Yeah, that's what I thought. I love you too. You walk home together, Aya occasionally bumping his hip into you. As you shuffle through the front door, the familiar smells of floristry fill your nostrils. The figure behind the counter turns to you, smiling when he meets your eyes. Well, first minute, Aya, my two favorite customers. Closing time already. I'll lock up here and follow you upstairs after. Why are you two giving me that look? Aya trails behind the wolf, running his hand down Ulfur's back and along his tail. You know, Aya, a patient I was treating for a broken leg today reported a mysterious lupine figure single-handedly pulling him out of under a fallen log. You put your hands on the wolf's chest, tugging at the edge of his clothes. That's fascinating. You know, I heard from one of the other commenters that someone rushed into Gava fire and carried out two kids under their arms. The two of you grind on Ufus, trapping the wolf. Did they say who it was? No, apparently he runs off every time without waiting. Did you two think that maybe he just doesn't want to start any more stories about wolves? His shirt slides off and you massage his chest while Aya's arms wrap around him, slowly undoing his belt. What I think it is that he deserves a reward. You nip at his neck. He shudders between you. My hero. My wolf. You're not sure how you've always ended up between the two of them, especially since this time it was Ulfur's getting sandwiched, but it feels right. At your back, Sleep softly, nuzzled into your downy neck feathers, and hands laced across your heart. Uber shifts, turning to face you. His voice is soft and low. I have to admit, you're a lot better at nighttime companion than a sword. You whisper back. You say that like you didn't keep it next to you in bed for the first year. It's still under us even now. Hey, combat was the only thing I knew for such a long time. You wanted me to go straight to only selling flowers? It seems like you haven't stopped at even that. He looks a little guilty, while you run your hands through his fur. Does it truly bother you to? Oh, Uvi, you're your own person. You don't have to pretend it's not to you. But you don't have to pretend it's not you, though. You really made me unkillable after all. We know you'll come back to us. He scoots down, and a little closer to you, kissing the sleeping eagle's hands before resting his chin against your chest. I love you, Havenspel. You pull him closer against the two of you, starting to drift off yourself between your lover's arms. I love you too. This is who you are, why you're still here. All of you together, this is where you belong. Okay. Hi everyone. Hey. How was the video? Do say in the comments, because I love seeing interactions, as it feels like I'm not talking to, like, we're reading to a brick wall. As, like, we've all seen a teener. We've all seen a teacher, like, get annoyed when no kid is, like, paying attention. I'm not saying I'm like that. I'm just saying, like, it's, like, it's very nice seeing you guys. You guys are very nice, and I appreciate all of you, really. Even the ones that don't comment at all, I do appreciate you guys. Even liking the videos, like, it feels nice. Like, I don't need it, but it's like, oh, you guys are there. And not just some, like, person pressing on and leaving. So yeah, it's like, oh, hi there. Moving on. Raise your hand if you thought Uval was going to die. I did. I'm raising my hand. I'm sorry. I was actually so scared that my prediction was right, because I was like, I did not read this. But then I was so happy he was alive. Speaking about Uval though, I think after his, like, old pack died, I think he was attempting to kill himself. Like, he was trying to throw his life away, is what he was trying to do. By going into that many battles and such. Also, all of them are tragic stories, holy shit. Like, the bird, what's his name? Abel? Oh, not Abel. We got Uval, Havenrest, and I'm forgetting that guy's name. The other golden eagle. Flip me. It's been a while, I'm sorry. I'm going back now. But yeah, they're all very sad. Like, one was adopted just to be sent to war so his own sons can't die. I was so sure that Ural died. God. Also, why did I, like... Man, I was so sure that in the description I read that one of them was a female. And I thought the golden eagle was one. I was like, wait, nope, not him. And then I was like, wait, is it the first raven? And then it turns out I go back to the Itch.io page and I was like, oh, none of them are a woman. Yeah. So sorry about that. And also, I am very sorry about these videos getting later and later in the weeks, or just less frequent videos. I really do mean try, but sometimes this summer, I work so much. Sorry for all this weird drops, but like, I'm not saying I need pity or anything. I'm just telling you guys, like, Uh, I work like a lot, like 50 to maybe 60 hours. Yeah, and it's night and day, so it's kind of hard getting videos out. Even if I can get some time, I do have classes to attend, and when I have a break, I don't feel like doing much. Like I would rather sleep, or I don't even draw, which is what I want to do. Um, yeah. So also like even with that much, I know maybe you guys did hear, but I was getting a bit sad because I thought Uval died, but he didn't. I was so happy, and maybe you guys didn't hear, but I really like. I do need a new mic. I, I, I'm making small adjustments in what I have here to get better quality stuff. Sorry, they slowly but surely will be there. I just can't. They're very expensive to get a mic or a better setup for that matter. It's like everything's so expensive in the US. Holy. I wonder how those Cali people are. Your favorite Cali fuzz. Like, come on, guys. I'm dying over here in the East Coast, in the barren wasteland of hell, Jersey. What else? I think that's it though. Also I do not need donations or anything like that, but yeah, I don't need anything from you guys. Just being here is enough for me. Like, I love seeing you guys. Thank you. What else was there? I think that's it. Besides that, we'll look at the credits. So I don't think these guys have a Patreon. So I'm just gonna like link the game and possibly everyone here so that I don't know like what you guys want or like how they would want it, because maybe they want support or maybe they don't, but I bet it would be tough to support every single one of them. But it is just a game jam. But I don't know how game jams work. Like if you support them or not. But yeah, I'll like link everyone down here just in case you like them or not. Or like their works. If you want to read the visual novel for yourself, for the uncensored version, you can go about that in the link description down below. Where the itch.io page should work. If it doesn't, you can just search it up. It is right on the screen. Anyway. This was amazing visual novel actually. Like short story for Game Jam. Even though like it was pretty short, it was like good. I liked it. I like all the short ones for some reason. I like the game jams. Like they're just, if you want me to read more, I say in the comments down below if you want me to read more. Also, since I'm about to be done with Minotaur's Hell and or maybe taking a break from Minotaur's Hell for a bit. If you want, I could keep going. Like I could actually get some build right now and just like do that. Like I feel bad for those who just want to see something else. You know, I'll read it. I'll finish it. I'll finish it, get it out, and then go on for something else. Even if it keeps updating, I will go on something else. Because it does seem a little bit unfair. I know no one's here, though. No one is here watching. Well, except for the few. Some of you guys are here. I'm not insulting you guys at all. I'm just saying my audience is not large, but I do appreciate my audience after all. After you guys, like, you guys are still there, so it's fine. What else was there? Oh yeah, rain check. That will be done in maybe 2 weeks or less. Like, not all the videos will be out in 2 weeks or less, but the recordings will be done in about 2 weeks. So in videos going further, you are allowed to like say what VNs you'd like to listen to or have read, because I love seeing those comments, like, because I don't know what to read and I love VNs. So yeah, if VN, it doesn't even have to be a VN. It could be like a short story or something like that, a novel. That probably won't take so long. Nothing like a Beowulf or something, maybe. I'm not good at poems, guys. Don't recommend poems to me, please. Whatever comment gets the most likes, I guess, in the video could be the next one, though. It doesn't have to be this one, but yeah. Do say recommendations in the comments if you want me to read. I will look at them if it's appropriate to post, or if it won't be like 80% NSFW or unpostable and 20% plot. That doesn't go for like, yeah, if it's just so inappropriate I can't post, then it's like, yeah, I don't think I'll post it. Or like, yeah. But don't let that like scare you from telling me what to read, because I might be able to like work around it. So yeah. I hope you guys have a good night, good day, good morning, or whatever it is for you guys. For me right now, it is about 1 in the morning, as I do not sleep. Or I should sleep because I got work at 5. I hate work. Flip work, guys. I want this to be work. I don't read and post enough for this to be work. It's so funny because it will never be work. No. I'm not complaining though. I love you guys. Yeah. Okay, so I think that's all I've said. So I will love you guys. Alright, I appreciate everyone that stays and is subscribed. You guys are loved a lot. Very much. And those who like, comment, share, and especially like, I saw you guys who shared. Or like, I don't see you guys, but I see the shares, guys. Like, thank you very much. You're getting it spread. Thank you. So yeah. A little quick comment can help too. So yeah. You don't have to do anything actually, but like, yeah, it doesn't have to go out to people. Love you guys, and I'll see you guys later next time. But do say recommendations. That is something I do like a lot. Not even that like it spreads the word out to people. Like, I just don't know what to read next, and I'm indecisive as fuck. So yeah, love you guys, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, or in the next video. Bye.